Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Too Weird Didn't Watch, the show where we make fun of movies based on nothing but their wonderful and bizarre descriptions.
I'm Brantley.
I'm Albert Berg, and we're kicking it off today with Malatesta's Carnival of Blood.
Sounds like a party.
It does, right?
Or like a great metal band.
Well, obviously that.
Malatesta's the front man, and then...
But if...
or the Carnival was their tour.
Taking it more literally, what family doesn't want to go down to the good old Carnival of Blood? With the blood Ferris wheel and, like, the blood popcorn.
I'm picturing, like, a world where the vampires have taken over, and it's just normal carnival, but there's, like, Carnival of Blood. Like, yeah, they kind of all are. Good for you, man.
Yeah, we do enjoy the soft drinks. I don't know why you named... It's like the Pepsi Carnival. Right, the Carnival of Pepsi. It's like, great, good. We just want to go on the Ferris wheel. There's Pepsi branding.
You mean
everywhere.
the Ferris wheel of cola? Yes, that. Yes.
Blood TM. Slake your thirst. The Norris family gets jobs working at a seedy old carnival as cover for searching for their missing son.
What? What?
The Norris family gets jobs.
So he goes missing.
Right?
And the first thought is, he's probably at the carnival. Everyone get a job. Quit the one you have. We're going to go work at the carnival.
Also,
our plan is foolproof.
It turned out that they were like in a really bad economic time, and the jobs were just like, this will help us find our son. Also, we need to eat.
Food would be nice.
I did let
convenient because this is the carnival, so we'll pay you in popcorn.
I let you go on this. However, it makes a little bit more sense if I read the rest of the sentence.
All right.
Look, searching for their missing son, who disappeared after visiting said carnival.
And nowhere else.
And nowhere else. No, he had been a shut-in his entire life. And he's like, Mommy, I want to go to the carnival. And they're like, I don't know why your voice still sounds like that. You're 23 years old, but fine. We're sick of you. We're sick of your high-pitched voice. You're just like that annoying kid on season 7 of MasterChef. Go to the carnival. Get out of the house. There's a blood carnival right over there. Go. It's not a good home situation, but they do love him.
I mean, they live like 2 blocks down from the vampire carnival. It's very awkward.
He goes missing at the Carnival of Blood, and they're like, I think something might happen.
Okay, in that case, it's like, yeah, listen, where do we live? Listen, we live next to an ice cream shop, a hospital, and two blocks down from the Carnival of Blood. Damn those ice cream makers!
It is the ice cream shop of blood, to be
fair. I like
the
idea that the dad, like surgically started at one business and just worked his way down, and this last was like, this is the last place he went. I've had jobs everywhere else. I brought the whole family this time.
Listen, I'm an amazing mattress salesman. But it turns out they didn't have any clues about my son's disappearance. So I've left that life behind to become a carnival barker.
Woo! Father of the year.
Eccentric manager Mr. Blood.
All right.
Turns out to be a vampire.
What are the odds? That is the single most on the nose, fake name for a vampire since Alucard.
The worst part is it's not his carnival. It's the Carnival of Blood. The manager's name is Mr. Blood, but he doesn't own the carnival. He says that Mr. Blood turns out to be a vampire, while the evil owner, Malatesta. I guess so. It does have the name is Malatesta's Carnival of Blood. Mm-hmm. So maybe they're like kind of co-owners here. Maybe Malatesta's like the investor.
Mr. Blood's like the showman. He's what brings in the clouds. Malatesta, he's the owner, so his name has to be there. And then he puts Mr. Blood because first off, blood.
Well, I think Mr. Blood probably runs it for him too. Like Malatesta's the money man, but he doesn't really want to be invested in the day-to-day minutia of running the Carnival of Blood. Yeah. The kidnapping of the children and the hiring of the children's parents, and
he's not a good businessman. Let's be honest. I'll steal the children and then hire them. Yes. Stroking what must be the most magnificent diabolical beard of all time.
They steal the children of like really successful people, and then they like, we must search for them, and then they get them to run their carnival for like a month. It's a great scheme. Malatesta rules over a gaggle of ghastly ghouls who watch silent movies when they aren't feasting on human flesh.
So they're hipsters? They're hipster monsters that work at a carnival for Mr. Blood and Malatesta, who is their ruler?
Well, I mean, they must not be very good workers because they do 2 things, and that's watch silent movies and feast on human flesh.
Yeah.
If they're not feasting on human flesh, they're watching silent movies.
Man, poor Mr. Blood. He's probably doing all the work.
No
at this
wonder he
carnival.
hired this family. He's like, listen, I know you guys are searching for your missing kid. I ate him personally. Like, his blood
He's upfront
tasted
about
great,
it.
but I gotta get somebody to run this Ferris wheel. Come on in and investigate.
Okay,
Check that room right there. There's maybe some bones.
Here's how it went down. The kid went missing. You know, he ate them. He's a vampire. He's like very open about being a vampire. He's like, I'm a vampire. I might eat one of you. I get hungry. You eat cows. Sorry. And then the kid goes missing. So like, have you seen our child? I ate him. He was tasty. He was good. You fed him well. Are you looking for work? Because my workers, they do two things. They eat flesh and they watch movies.
They're not
Keep
even
them with the movies. That way you don't get eaten. But otherwise, you can run whatever ride you want because nobody's doing anything.
I'm
and
really
getting
sick
tired.
of seeing the cabinet of Dr. Caligari, okay? Like, you could put on some Brady Bunch if you want to.
They'll eat you, but I'm down with that. He's using like his vampire speed to run to every ride so everything keeps running on time. he's like the Flash, but he'll eat people.
Now I just want to see the Flash like run his own. Like he uses his powers for completely mundane things. He helps everybody in the store.
That's my favorite trope is mundane utility.
He even he can help people simultaneously because he can go back in time.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I will be with you.
Really, when people
now.
complain about Superman not solving all the world's problems, it's the Flash.
Yeah, that's true.
He can run on water and turn back time easily. Well, go back in time easily.
But instead, he runs a Walmart. It's like, why, Flash? You can solve world hunger. And he's like, excuse me, there is a cleanup on aisle 5. For real.
I'm done.
Yes. It was puke and poop.
You're welcome.
You go deal with world hunger, Batman. You're so smart. Design some crops that grow in Africa or something. Jeez. Stop inventing fancy planes and cars and fighting gangsters and actually don't do some good.
I was playing Arkham Knight the other day. I'm just like looking at all this stuff. I was like, you could have donated this stuff to the cops and have them be prepared for all the supervillains that show up. But now you're just going to punch people at your gauntlets. That's cool, Batman.
Next up, we have the Diabolical Dr. Z. You think Z is his real last name?
Could be an initial.
Okay. Dr. Zachariah.
I'm just happy to see it pronounced Z.
Oh, you got something against the Z word?
I don't know.
I was actually...
It's annoying to me when it's like especially in like Men in Black where it's all initials, and then they pronounce his name Z, which is not the American way, so it just sounds like he randomly has a name. That confused me for so long as a kid.
It took me... I figured out in college that people pronounce Z differently.
Mm-hmm.
I met people from Canada, and in college I was like, oh, they don't say Z over there? And I thought that was pretty cool.
I just started watching more and more British things.
It just blew my mind that like there was just the one letter of the alphabet for some reason that people called something different. I was like, wait a minute. So you still write it the same way. It's still pronounced the same way, but you have a different name for it. And for some reason, like it was so bizarre to me. It's like, oh my gosh, of course you can call the letters anything.
Yeah, I know.
Why do we call them what we call them?
It's also weird. It's weird to me when it's like American productions that do that. Like call it Zed.
Right?
Like, I mean, the first Power Rangers had Lord Zed who had Z's all over the place.
Maybe it was meant to be like, it wasn't meant to be obvious.
Yeah.
Like maybe that it was.
I mean, it sounds a lot cooler. Lord Zed sounds cooler than like Lord Z.
And if you don't know, like if it's an American production, right? And you're making it for kids who I was a kid and I didn't know that Z was pronounced Z or Z was pronounced Z in another country. So I think that it's one of those things that like they're being clever for their audience.
Yeah.
Which
was a refreshing take for that show. Mighty Morphin, not the smartest production.
Dr. Z creates a mind control machine. And oh boy, do I love mind control machines. It's almost as good as swapping brains.
Yeah.
Mind control machines are the lifeblood of campy bad movies. Rejected by the medical establishment as mad, he suffers a fatal heart attack.
Was this before or after the unveiling of the mind control machine?
Why do you ask?
Because
what are you thinking here?
Either he I have built a machine to control people's minds. They're like, you're kind of crazy. And then he's just like, just horrified. And then heart attack right there. Or they just he was just raving and just kind of kooky, and they're just like, listen, we think you're unhinged. You need to take 2 or 3 weeks off, just get your mind back together, and you come back to work. It's like, they calling me mad! Then he builds a mind control device.
I
then
do
has a heart
want to
attack.
entertain the idea that he might actually be insane, because if you have a mind control device, you can convince people that you have a mind control device pretty easily. You could be like, they'd be like, I don't believe you. And you'd be like, go over there and jump in that fountain. I meant to do that. Go over there and hump that rock.
So
I meant
it's
to
like
do
in,
that too.
Hotel Transylvania. How do you know you're the real Dracula? And he like hypnotizes the guy to slap himself in the face. And he's like, all right, I believe him.
So he's dead now. His daughter decide.
And that man is dead. Continue.
His daughter decides to take revenge on the men who did down her dad. I don't know if that's a typo or if that's like a
Did
phrase.
down her dad.
They did down my dad. Did down my dad.
Some great alliteration there.
Using his devious device. Wow, they're really getting down with the letter D there. Wouldn't it be great if people in other countries pronounced it dead? Yeah, I went there.
Boo.
Because it's a horror movie. See?
Boo to you and
Yeah.
all you stand for.
Okay. Using his devious device, she brainwashes a sexy go-go dancer.
All right.
Yes.
That
I'm going to get revenge on the men who did down my dad. Devious device, go-go dancer, all of this plan coming together.
So this is one of those mental illnesses that runs in the family, right?
I think so. Their family does.
I like in my mind that every dialogue from her is just all alliteration. Just every sentence out of her mouth is just primarily the same letters.
So she does the V for Vendetta opening monologue through the whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Brainwashes a sexy go-go dancer and turns her into a deadly killing machine.
Disappointed by the lack of alliteration there.
I'm also like disappointed in how convoluted this plan is getting.
Also,
You have a mind control device. You want to get revenge on somebody. Forcing another girl
I mean,
to
so here's the thing. We don't know what the machine is. Really, how big this machine is determines how viable this iteration of this plan is.
Okay.
Because if it's like room-sized, then yeah, you can't go around mind controlling random people. You have to bring certain people and you keep kidnapping people to do your handiwork. It's going to get obvious. So she mind
I don't
controls.
think it's going to get, because you can take them back. You can just mind control them and be like, do this. And then like put them back in their function and they'll be like, I feel strangely compelled to write amazing articles about how this one girl is the genius of our times and not crazy at all.
True. But if it's like ray gun sized, she could just go up
Ronald
to them.
Reagan?
No.
Thanks for going with me on that.
Just walk. Sorry, I'm making the pistol motion. I just picture somebody holding Ronald Reagan by his foot and holding him out like a gun, and it was amazing. But no, it's a ray gun size thing, and she just like goes and hypnotizes people, and she just had them like jump out of buildings. She could go all Death Note on these people, but no, she chooses go-go dancer gleefully.
A sexy
And
go-go
with
dancer.
great
I've,
gumption.
yes. None of those are starting with the letter D, though.
Those were G, which are other
Okay.
letters, because alliteration does not just mean the letter D.
No. Nope.
And there was go-go dancer.
Ha! First, she, and I assume this is the go-go dancers, seduces her victims.
Mhm.
Then she dispatches
Dispenses.
them with her poison-tipped fingernails.
See, now we're at a point where I can't defend the plan.
I have a mind control machine.
This was almost like
And also
this was almost like
deadly manicures.
1970s Jane Bond level silliness. But this went beyond. She could have had like little stilettos in her stiletto heels or something. But no, poison. She's that one chick from the Wolverine.
And again, if she could get poison-tipped fingernails, why doesn't she just go up to these guys who killed her dad and be like, swipe, and walk away? And when people come to arrest her, they'll be like, you know what? You can arrest me, but you have to walk through this giant machine to get to me. And then they
It's
do.
like a giant CAT scan machine. It hums and everything. It's like, I don't really want to walk through there. You're under arrest, and they just pull out their guns.
They're ray guns.
Yeah?
Yes,
Okay.
because it's the future.
Oh, is it now?
Why not? The last movie was in the future. No, I mean like
The far off future of 1991.
Basket Case 3 was in the future. Futuristic anyway.
Only the ending was.
Finally, we wrap things up with the erotic rites of Frankenstein.
Bound trickle wow wow pathos. Thank you.
Okay. After the death of Victor Frankenstein, two figures.
Spoilers?
Well, they're the rights. I think they're
Well,
talking about like
fair
the
enough.
last rights, the last erotic rights.
This is easily the third creepiest will I've ever read in my life.
After the death of Victor Frankenstein, two figures vie for control of his metallic-skinned monster and the radical technology that created him.
I must have skipped some parts of that book because I don't remember him being the Colossus.
I just love the use of the word radical here.
Yeah.
Especially conjoined with the fact that he's built a robot is like he brought him to life with radical technology.
At this point,
dudes.
he has just built a robot.
Yes.
The point is that he, created life from dead tissue. But no, he just built a robot.
Oh,
This
the
is lame
dead tissue was
Frankenstein.
real difficult. Okay, it turned out it was hard to do. So he was like, hard. What's hard? Metal.
He couldn't figure out how to make a lightning rod. So he was like, I'll just cover it with metal. I don't care anymore.
The scientist's daughter, Vera, and the immortal wizard, Cagliostro. These are the
He's
two
Italian.
people vying for control of the metallic-skinned wizard monster, by the way.
So
We have a metallic, just to recap, we have metallic skin monster, radical technology, scientist's daughter, who I'm assuming is not difficult to look at,
well, yeah.
and an immortal wizard, Cagliostro.
So
This is a metal album, somehow. Again, I don't know how I keep going back to that, but somehow.
it's one of those albums that like the whole album tells a story.
It's by the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. This is their next, secretly,
So
their next thing is based on this,
a couple of things.
right?
One, does this take place after, like presumably it takes place after the book, right?
It takes place after some iteration of the events of the book, yeah.
Is this like after he's like, we don't belong in this world and just like floats off to sea on an iceberg? Do they like find him at the bottom of the ocean and he's still alive and he's just like, well, damn it.
Isn't that what happens to Frankenstein, though? He's kind of immortal. I mean, not the monster. Frankenstein's monster?
Yeah.
He kind of can't die. He
Yeah,
tries
so
to go
that's
off
why
and freeze.
he tries to, either freeze or drown in the ocean. Also, that Frank, I actually want to see now a version of just the original book Frankenstein where he just happens to have metal skin
Why?
because it would be awesome and stupid, but awesome.
I mean, I guess it could have been anything back then, like, because Mary Shelley was sort of inventing a genre, essentially.
Mhm.
It could have been any kind of person. It could have been a metal skin person or whatever, as long as you have the same ideas. But
Well, I mean, you could if you're going so far that you have metal skin, you just like ramp up the ridiculousness.
right.
So he can like he grabs hold of like metal coils or whatever and can like channel.
Is he like a
electricity.
steampunk robot at this point? Can he be steampunk Frankenstein robot, please?
Steampunk cyborg?
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
We did
Like-
kind of get that in the movie Van Helsing.
Yeah.
I want to point out, which that
You've
movie
got, like,
had so many great ideas. It's not a great movie, but it's got a lot of great stuff in it.
You've got like a bit where you can like see his heart through like
Right,
glass.
Yeah.
And it's pumping and it like sparks.
Oh yes. I can see it. I can see it.
And it's
Oh!
great.
It's amazing. And then like he does have the exposed brain with like the glass cover.
Mm-hmm.
He
Glass
has like
cover, and he, like-
one of his eyes, only one, is like a telescope, like some kind of a lens thing.
Mhm.
The other one is sort of like milky white.
I'm picturing that this is after he's been out, so he's got like the fur clothes that he's stitching on himself, so he's got like a hood to cover it.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
All of this I'm on board with. I do want to wrap. There is a final line that I have not read to this. The immortal wizard, Cagliostro, is assisted by a blind bird woman with an unquenchable thirst for blood.
So an old school vampire.
Essentially, yes.
Because vampires originally turned into owls, not bats.
Okay.
It's just then we discovered that vampire bats were a thing. Like, oh, that's cool. Do that.
Here's my favorite thing about this. It's so like we start off just
Yeah, this
killing
is
off
random.
Frankenstein. Like he's just gone. I was like, oh well, he died. That's great.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. We pick up-
Robot monster. All right, little unorthodox. Can deal with it though.
Mhm.
And then the daughter. Okay, Frankenstein had a daughter. That's pretty normal. Oh, by the way, also immortal wizard named Cagliostro and his sidekick, the blind bird woman with an unquenchable thirst for blood.
Because of the name Cagliostro, which is fun to say. I'm picturing he's Italian,
I'm sure, probably.
but super Italian. Like, he loves his spaghetti.
I like the meatball.
He loves his spicy meatball. Got to get the monster. Conquer the world.
It's a me, Cagliostro.
So I like
We're going to get the Frankenstein.
in my mind, the whole movie is like from the creature's point of view.
Okay.
And he's just dealt with, coming to grips with what he is as a creature. He's got this metal skin that, big plate where you can see his heart. It's like, that's creepy. Wish I had something to cover that. And, he's just basically had a funeral for his father. And then these just crazy wizards and, like, people show up. He's like, what happened to just people being freaked out? Why are there wizards now? Why is there a bird lady? Is this where I fight Dracula? Does that when this happens now?
I'm searching for...
Cagliostro?
Yes, because it appears that he is kind of sort of a... Count Cagliostro.
Of course he's a count.
I'm looking.
Does he have a
research
castle
time.
that's on a cliff with a little spiraling road you have to go up, and it's very precarious, and there's always lightning straight behind it? Your silence is yes.
Yes. Okay, so apparently he is a real historical figure, an Italian adventurer and self-styled magician. He became a glamorous figure associated with the royal courts of Europe, where he pursued various occult arts, including psychic healing, alchemy, and scrying.
One of these things is not like the others, but other than that, that's awesome.
I do like the idea of pulling, especially somebody this obscure, because I've never heard of this guy before.
Yeah.
And when you get an actual historic figure that isn't, Isaac Newton, not that Isaac Newton being an immortal wizard somehow is not awesome, but when you pull from somebody I haven't heard of.
I live forever with physics.
Well, to be fair, he did also write a lot about the occult and biblical numerology.
Yeah.
So I think that there's a lot.
All we remember from school is the apple thing that didn't actually happen.
I mean, that's not all I remember, but sure. That's kind of a weird way to end.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy learning about new things.
Also, Steampunk's cyber Frankenstein monster is awesome.
Yes, Awesome Monster is awesome. But that'll do it for us on this week of Too Weird Didn't Watch. Thanks, everybody, so much for listening. If you haven't done so already, click that subscribe button. You'll get awesome updates to this podcast every week. We release on Saturday. Leave us a review on iTunes, please, if you like it, because those sure do help us out. And we'll see you next week with more of Too Weird Didn't Watch.
Bye, guys.
Bye.